Good morning, friends. Happy Thursday, July 6th. Crystal here from Find Your Road Home with today's 3-card reading. Please remember, the first card is always for you. The second card is always for someone else. That someone else might be a stranger, a friend, or a loved one. And the third card is always something to remember or watch for. It is often an opportunity. Okay. Are you ready, friends? Happy Thursday. We're on the downhill slide of the week already. I feel like I was just saying this the other day. Yay! This week it's like the week was the weekend length and the weekends were the week length. I don't know. It's weird. My mind is just so confused about like what day even is it. So let's get to the message because that I'm not confused on. So the card for you today, is Pare. And we've had Pare recently, so I'm sure you all in your head can remember the cut it out, cut it out. You too can cut it out. So what can you cut out of your life? Up to this point, we've thought about this. Honestly, what I would like to say is probably a little superficially. Like, what can we purge out of our house? It's more of that purge mentality. I want you to think a little bit deeper about that purge mentality. Are there some habits that you have that you could use to get rid of? Are there some ways that you typically respond to situations that maybe you could use to get rid of or change? Like, here's a great example. I'm throwing myself under the bus. Do you typically, you don't think of it like that you're a gossip, but are you a gossip? Do you go talk to other people about other people as a way to try to figure it all out? Like you're just processing out loud. You're really not meaning to gossip, but are you a gossip? It's those kinds of things that right now, universe is saying you need to cut out of your life. Why do you keep doing these things? Like you notice them, you self-correct, you do pretty good for a little while, and then you get tired, and then all of a sudden, or you get overwhelmed. Maybe overwhelmed is a better word than tired. And you need other people to process, and then you go and you gossip again. Like it was innocent as innocent can be. And then there you are. So how can you cut these things out? How can you make it to where you catch them before they happen, as opposed to going, oh, there that is again. Oh, crap. Okay, let me go do my penance. Instead of having to do penance, what if you prevent it? Okay, so it's that kind of thinking. How can you cut it out before it even happens? All right, this is a yellow yield, and this is a toll. Like it's... When it's time to cut things out, if we don't purge them, if we don't cut them like we're being asked, then of course there's going to be a cost. I mean, we all understand choices and consequences, right? Okay. This one's an immediate change, and it is an earth. So it's about the analysis and looking at your bigger picture to make sure that you have all the right parts and pieces there. And if you don't, get rid of them. That includes your reactions and perceptions. Okay? If they no longer fit, cut them out. All right. The message for our friend today, please remember a friend is a stranger, friend, or a loved one. And it can also be us. Ugh. Sorry, you're my someone else. I'm your someone else. All right, so I don't mind this card though, and hopefully you won't either. So the card for someone else today is glue. And from this card, what I'm sensing about our friend today is they're feeling a little discombobulated, kind of like I do right now. So they're feeling a little like, I don't know, they feel like they might be like, picture this. You're walking down the road and my elbow hurts. And then all of a sudden your elbow falls off and you're going a little further and, oh, my hip hurts. And all of a sudden your hip falls off. And so as you're walking down the road, you're losing these parts and pieces. What glue is saying is you might feel like that's happening. A lot of people that I know that are my age might especially be feeling like that's happening. Like, oh my gosh, are these parts and pieces going to completely fall off? And the truth is no, they're not, because our friend has this immense, I'm sorry, I was looking for the right word. It was like immeasurable, but immense amount of strength, AKA glue, that is holding them together. So while they feel like their parts and pieces are falling off, they're really not. It's more like we're just kind of walking along, dragging them all along behind us. And what that's saying is then if you're feeling like you're dragging your parts and pieces along or they're going to fall off, then maybe you're a little low vibration and we need to do something to get us a little higher vibration so that our parts and our pieces might like stick back to us. Whatever it is, we're just not feeling right, or our friend is just not feeling right. And so they just notice there's a little home sweet home in there. And so they just need to get to where they feel comfortable again. Okay. And really it's just remembering, because that feeling, and because it's all inside, that feeling of I've got this, or okay, I'm comfortable again, it all comes from within. And that's that glue. Okay. So just remember, you are home. You're always home. Okay. It is a green go, and it is a dirt road. So that's where we're feeling the bumps and we're feeling like our pieces are falling off. But it's okay. We can keep going because we're all right. We just, as long as we remember to look within, and that's always love. Remember, look within is always about love. This is a future as well as immediate change. So there's still that change energy from the pair. We're cutting the thing. Oh, I just noticed we cut and now we're gluing. We cut and now we're going to glue. That is so awesome. This one is a fire. So we're going to cut out what we don't want, but we're going to keep the things that we do. And those should be the fire. Those should be the things that bring us passion. I'm so excited we're cutting and gluing. Like, I was like feeling so poopy about this reading today when I first turned the cards. And like all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, childlike fun, cutting and gluing. Okay. It's that simple, friends. Like, it's that easy to turn your mindset. All right. Cut out that doom and gloom. It doesn't serve. Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready for the remember or watch for card today? Okay. Remember I said cut out the doom and gloom. So the remember or watch for card today is fall. Okay. So fall is this reminder from God universe that within our struggles are lessons. And we're given the struggles because we're supposed to learn lessons. Okay. All right. So today we are going to watch for lessons to resurface. And here's the thing. Maybe you can catch them before they happen so that you don't fall. I was talking about this before in the pair part. Like, could we get to where instead of just saying, oh, I'm sorry, I did it again. Oops. Instead of doing oops, maybe it's, all right, I'm aware that I'm getting this feeling. What can I do to prevent this fall? Simple things like taking a day off of work so that you're not interacting with people and getting those things all stirred up in you so that you have poor responses. If you know that you can't control it, that's what PTO is for, friend. Take the day off. But maybe you don't need PTO to do it. Maybe you have become so aware now that it's just time, like, what have you been learning these things for? You've been learning these things so that you stop, so that it's not a, oh, I'm sorry, I did it. It's a, look, I didn't do it. Did you notice? And you don't even ask anybody if they noticed. You have to notice. The situation came up, the energy happened, and you didn't have your normal response. Did you notice? The thing is that oftentimes we're still going to fall anyway. And here's why. Growth, and this is me and my opinion based off of things I've read, but to me, growth is a spiral, okay? And so it's like that tornado moving up. We start at the bottom and we get sucked into the growth and we grow here at this level. We grow as far as we can, as much as we can handle. And then we stop growing in that area for a little while and we go and we grow somewhere else. We go work on something else. But maybe in a few months, a few weeks, a few days, or even a few years. It just depends on your timeline and your soul and how you grow and how your spin spiral works. But eventually you're going to come back to that lesson and you're going to revisit it. One, to remember what you've already learned, but two, to scaffold on the next layer of lesson. Because we've learned that and we've now grown in these other areas. And so now our stool is here, but maybe I learned this over here. And so now this leg is wobbly. And so I've got to learn, I got to just keep learning so that my legs always stay the same length and they don't get too ridiculously wobbly. Make sense? So fall is important. While I initially was like, meh, I didn't like it, because the truth is I have literally fallen and broken a leg. So fall gives me a slight PTSD response. But that was a lesson too, that I need to remember that lesson, and there's been scaffolded things on top of that lesson already. So the truth is I shouldn't be afraid of that one anymore because there's layers on top of it. That fall that broke my ankle can't get me anymore because I learned that one. There's new ones on top of it. Okay? To different depths. It's like that lesson, but let's fine tune it a little. All right. Here's a little bit of a crick here. Let's make an adjustment there. It's like energy chiropractic. And I might have made that word up. I don't know. Okay, so fall is you got to stop. Just stop. Rather than slow down, you got to stop. That way you don't keep moving so that you don't make that mistake. If it's soon enough that you can prevent it, then we want to prevent it, right? So we need to stop. That's the only way to prevent. This one is a toll. We have to listen to these lessons. We have to pay attention to them. We have to not run from them. We have to go through them and get to the other side. Our spiral requires it. Because otherwise, if you don't, you stop in your spiral. And talk about being stuck. Because there's where you all went, all down there below you. And because you're not moving anymore, you can hear it. You can hear it a lot. And then you got all that above you and you're like, how do I get up there? I'm stuck. So don't do that. Don't get stuck. Listen. All right. So don't get stuck in that toll, because that's the cost. The toll is you're stuck. And then, yeah. This one is another future and immediate change. Notice we had no past today. It was all either, every single one was about change. And so, and I don't mean big change. I just mean like, how can you do something different? This one is a water. So usually when we fall, there's emotion tied to it. If you think about, if you're someone who's more into alchemy, when we fall, I like to think that it's like we've got lead in our bum and the lead pulled us down to the earth and made us fall. Well, we've got to process that lead. We got to try to turn it to gold so that we can lighten up a little, shine our light better, and not be stuck on the ground, fallen, and we can actually stand, or better yet, rise. Okay? All right. So, telling you, these cards, like, you just never know when they're going to be heavy and when they're going to be light and when they're going to be like, ooh, let's process some stuff. Lately, we've been processing some stuff. But I think the thing is that we're all always processing stuff. And so we just have to recognize that and not get stuck there in the I gotta process, because not everything has to be a struggle. Like, just recognize it and move on and let it go. Okay? Don't live there. All right. So it is Thursday. We are going to go out there with kindness, because this has been the shortest week ever, which means many of us probably have a whole bunch stuffed into a few days, which means stress. So don't be stressed. Take deep breaths. Go out there with kindness. Give everybody grace, because if you're feeling away, more than likely someone else is feeling away too. It's okay. We've all got this. Have a fabulous Thursday, friends. Love you. See you tomorrow. Bye.